Propelio TV is sponsored by Noble Mortgage and Investments, Batchkip Tracing, Think Multifamily, CreativeCashflow.com, and Lifener.
Guys, please welcome Mr. Carlos Reyes.
Thank you. Is this on? Where are my boots today? Right? I'm a Cowboys fan. For those of you, any Cowboys fans in the building? Okay. See is that a Cowboys hat? There you go. I like that. So I come down here for at least 3 games a season. You know, ever since we started making a little bit of money, I travel, go to the Cowboys Stadium, bring my daughter, hang out with, any of you know Donnie Ruffin here? Donnie Ruffin? So that's one of my boys here in Texas, and we go to a lot of games, actually. It's amazing how real estate can build so many relationships. I mean, Ryan Harper, he was just at our event last month, Freedom, right? Freedom. And we had a blast, and he's like, hey man, we're gonna have a pretty good event too, you should come out. And I'm saying, let's do it. You know, I love Texas. I wish I lived in Texas. You know, I wish I lived in Texas. So anyway, for me, how many of you have a 9-to-5 still? Don't be ashamed, raise your hand. Okay. Well, I quit my job March 7th on my birthday of 2016. March 7th of 2016, that's 3 years and a few months. At that time, you know, I had a Nissan, we had a 2006 Nissan Rogue I was doing Bandit Signs out of. And I have bad news for you in regards to corporate America. Is this good? Ready? Corporate America. So corporate America kind of screwed me. You know, I worked my ass off for a position, and politics came into play, and that my supervisor, who was the regional manager, because I was going to be the regional manager, I was there for over 10 years since I was like 17 years old, and he decided I was the #1 ranked up-and-coming manager, next in line. He decided to give it to his best friend, who was ranked 17th. So politics, you know, corporate America, politics, you guys know how it goes, right? And favoritism came into play, and boom, I was depressed. I was depressed for like 2 weeks. I was so depressed, and my chief financial officer is right here, and she used to work with me, so she knows, like, I was so depressed. And I was so depressed, I watched 5 out of the 8 seasons of Game of Thrones in a matter of a week and a half. That has to be like some kind of record, right? Yeah, I mean, that room stunk. Like, that room stunk. And, but anyway, you know, I went all in. I see the hat here. What's up, brother? Thank you for coming out. Thank you. Here we go. Some guys, raise your hand if you've ever been to an all-in event. All-in event, boom, 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 boom. Obviously, Alex Signs. So, anyway, that's what kind of like, that was the catalyst to like this whole thing for me, is I got screwed over. You know, corporate America, I always did have an itch. I had an itch of something better, you know, because corporate America just had a ceiling for me. It had ceilings. Like, I worked my ass off, boom, 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 and then that was it. I couldn't get any farther. You know, I could never be the owner, you know. So once that happened to me, I decided to say, you know what? You know, screw this. I'm going to start transitioning into leaving my 9-to-5 job. So what I did was I took a demotion, and instead of working 7:30 to like 7:30 in the morning to like 7 p.m., I said, you know what? I'm only going to give you guys 7 to 3. 7 to 3. 7 p.m., 3 to 3 p.m. 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. That's it. Nothing more. Oh, can you work a little more? No, nothing more. That's it. I'm going to just survive. And what did I start doing for the next like year? I started transitioning into building a real estate empire. I started dropping bandit signs on Friday nights at 11 p.m. all the way to, Saturday, 2 in the morning. For those of you who's ever dropped a bandit sign in this room, by the way? Okay. I want to say this. You guys have much softer soil than Arizona does. So, for those of you who have struggled with bandit signs, I started out with handwritten ones, as you saw in the pictures. I started out with handwritten ones. And I had the wooden stakes first, and I had freaking splinters everywhere, and sometimes I had to drop a little water in the soil because Arizona soil is really, really dry, right? So I would do that, and I did that for 6 months. It was 2,400 bandit signs before I landed my first wholesale deal of $5,000, and that changed my life forever. Once that happened, that's it. That changed my life forever. How many of you have done one deal here? At least one deal. Okay, so I would say maybe 40%, 30% of the room. How many of you are still looking for that first deal? So about, 15, 20% of the room. How many of you are just don't give a shit about deals? Because not everybody raises their hand. Okay, there you go, right in the middle. Okay, there. Go network with him. He knows something we don't. So, anyway, once that first deal, happened, and I saw a check for $5,000, it just kind of changed something in my mind. I was like, wow, it used to take me a month and a half or 2 months to get this kind of money working, 40, 50, 60 hours or whatever. And then once that happened, I completely just went all in, from sun up to sundown. And my business partner isn't here. He's in Bali right now. He's on his honeymoon. He just got married. And it just him and I just started grinding. And we were the guys that were reaching out to everybody in Phoenix. By the way, Phoenix, Arizona is the guru capital of the world, when it comes down to real estate. You guys know that, right? You guys know how competitive Phoenix, Arizona is. So nobody wanted to give us anything because it's so competitive. And there was very few people that actually lent a hand, and we just started grinding. We started learning because my goal was to get the hell out of that job. That was my goal, was to leave that job. So left the job, and I know I only got 45 minutes. Where's the timer at, by the way? Yeah, sure. There's a balcony up top. If the seats are filled, there's a balcony up top. If the seats are filled, Ryan Harper. Okay, so okay, gotcha. So anyway, I started transitioning. My goal was to leave that job because you know what? I didn't want to be the dad. I have a 7-year-old daughter, and now I have an 11-month-old daughter, and I didn't want to be that dad that when my daughter turns 16 years old and says, "Hey, Daddy, can I have a car?" and she's getting good grades in school and she's a great kid, I didn't want to be that dad that was going to say, "Sorry, baby, we can't afford it." I didn't want to be that guy. And to me, that meant the world to me. Is what? I'm going to do this. There is absolutely it's all or nothing for me. So we started. We got our first deal, Bandit Signs. And then, because today we're going to talk about lead generation. We got our first deal, Bandit Signs. Got to, generate some leads. By the way, Bandit Signs really suck in Arizona. I don't know how they're doing it here in Texas. They suck? Okay. Bandit Signs suck. If you put out 100, you might get half a call. And that's probably somebody that's going to curse you out or something, or it's the city. Or retail. But see, you can, if they want retail for the house, well, if you're an agent, you can turn that into a listing, get some more marketing money. But we're not here to talk about that today. Anyway, yeah, we can go down a rabbit hole with that. We're here to talk about some simple lead generation stuff. So, Bandit Signs, again, guru capital of the world, Phoenix, Arizona, everybody was saying, Bandit Signs, direct mail, Bandit Signs. I heard people were paying $50,000 to learn that. People were paying people 30 grand, 50 grand for somebody to tell them, oh yeah, go put out 100 signs every single weekend, or send direct mail, et cetera, whatever, right? And boom, got 5K. So what my business partner and I did is we immediately dumped that back into marketing. The next thing we did was our mindset, like we had such a scarcity mindset because, and I want you to be honest with me, okay? I want you to be honest. How many of you think of marketing as an expense? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. There's no shame. Raise your hand if you think of marketing as an expense. Now raise your hand if you think of marketing as an investment. Okay, so we got some players in the room then. We got some players in the room. That's beautiful. Well, during that time, I thought about it as an expense. So what I did was we teamed up with another investment company called Highest Cash Offer, and we spent $2,500 on direct mail. We sent out that old school yellow letter with the handwritten yellow letter one, right? If you ever used that, that was really hot about 3 to 5 years ago. And we send, I don't know how many, we spent $2,500 and they hit us for about 50 cents a pop for that. And we sent $2,500, we put $1,250, our company put a whole $1,250 into this marketing campaign, and the other company put $1,250, and we generated $60,000 off of that first campaign. And guess who we targeted during that first campaign? We targeted Hispanic owners in the West Valley of Phoenix that had high equity of 30% or more in their properties. Okay, boom. I was the acquisition guy. So one of my buddies, he has one of the biggest acquisition companies in the entire country. It's called Highest Cash Offer. His name is Jared. So what we would do is Jared's white, so Jared would be like the bad guy or the investor, and I would be the mediator, speaking Spanish. I was the acquisition guy for Jared, supposedly, right? It's like we kind of came up with the strategy, and it worked. We pulled off 60 grand on the first campaign, and we were still scared to spend money on marketing. After we split 30 and 30 gross, it was gross revenue. So we sent another campaign of $2,500, and we produced like $30,000. So in 2 mail campaigns, we produced $90,000 gross between both companies, and that is when they went their separate ways, and that is when we went our separate ways. Okay, and that is the last time that we ever thought of marketing as an expense, because we invested $1,250 and got $30,000. That's like a 30x return on the first campaign. You know what I mean? The second campaign, invested $1,250 again, got $15,000 that we split, 30, 15, 15. That was like a 15x return. For those of you who are investors, are active investors, and are constantly spending money on marketing, if you get a 5 to 6x return on your marketing dollars, that's a really good return. It's a really good return. So imagine we got 30 and then 15, and that forever changed the way that we viewed marketing. So you can't get deals if you don't have leads. And you can't get leads unless you market. It's as simple as that. Whether you like it or not, if you're in this game to really acquire properties, you're going to have to market. Or you can keep buying from wholesalers. How many of you buy from wholesalers now? Yeah, how's that going? It's going okay? You must, see, that's good. What was that? Donnie Ruffin. Well, that's good. That's good if but I would say 80% of wholesalers out there don't know what they're doing, right? They run the wrong comps, and then they acquire too high, and then they try to give it to you too high. They leave no meat on the bone. Again, if Donnie is an educated real estate entrepreneur, so you're going to make money off that deal, God willing. I'm moving in. Oh, you're moving in, even better. So you got a wholesale property to move into. That's amazing. That's the house that you saw there. That house is worth $900. I got it for $650. You know what I mean? Same thing. Found the guy and found the right situation, and we made it happen. So, all right, let's see if this thing works. Let's get into marketing. What is marketing? Marketing, the importance of marketing. By the way, I didn't put these slides in. Brittany did. I think you skipped something. But so what is marketing? Just for those of you who don't know the importance of marketing, marketing is the bloodline of any business. Marketing is the bloodline of any business. So if you're not marketing, you're not going to get too far, unfortunately. I mean, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. All right, so thank you for that. By the way, I came up here to wing it. She put the slides to me, but we're going to make it happen because we do this all the time. All right, so some marketing streams. Let me get out the way here. This is like the biggest freaking screen I've ever been at. So let me move out the way. I think that's it, right, Brittany? And one more? Okay. Oh. Okay, here we go. So, direct mail. Who does direct mail here? How's that going for you guys? How's the return? What is your ROI on direct mail? 0. In a few months? In Texas? Wow. Okay. You know direct mail? Text, SMS, okay. SMS, direct mail. Anybody else does direct mail over here? Anybody have a return on direct mail? No? What's your ROI on direct mail there? What are you spending? How much is it bringing back? If you're tracking. You sent out 500 what? And you got a deal? That's a miracle. That's a miracle. Well, okay, beautiful, beautiful. So, direct mail. See, this is the thing, guys. What is everybody doing these days? No. It's not direct mail. Everybody is cold calling, and everybody's doing RVMs. And you have to be a contrarian. Okay, what is our ROI on direct mail last quarter? 10x. See, unlike a lot of companies in here, we actually track our KPIs. Okay, we know we're in multiple markets. So we know how much money we spent in that market, how many marketing dollars for specific marketing channels we spent in that market. And then overall, the KPIs are called key performance indicators. Overall, we get to see what our ROI is in that specific marketing channel. And when something gives you 10x back, what do you think we're going to do the following quarter? We're going to pump more marketing, more direct mail, right? Way more. 10x, are you kidding me? That's almost unheard of these days. Okay? So, pay-per-click. How many of you do PPC? Pay-per-click. That's Google paid ads. How many of you do that? Nobody does. Donnie, do pay-per-click. Right? So you got to be contrarians. Everybody's cold calling. Everybody's doing Bandit Signs. Everybody's doing Ringless voicemail. You got to be contrarians. And by the way, guys, for legal purposes, I do have to say, seek legal counsel when it comes, seek legal advice when it comes down to some of these marketing avenues, because some of them are somewhat invasive, and people can sue people. Hey, Ron, what's up, Ron? So, anyway, if everybody's freaking doing cold calling, Bandit Signs, and Ringless voicemail, why aren't you doing pay-per-click and direct mail? What was our pay-per-click return last quarter? What was it? 11x. Our company. You see, I didn't tell you guys a story. I didn't finish the story of, we got a crazy return off direct mail, but you know what we immediately did? We started building a brand, and that brand's called National Cash Offer. And we started building a brand. We spent $5,000, okay? $5K, got like $67,000 back the first time. Then we're like, oh my God, we were still so scared, we were kind of scared still with marketing. Let's spend $7,500. And then that's when we hit our first six-figure month. Pay-per-click literally built our company. Pay-per-click built our company. The guy, his name is Dave, by the way, Dave. This guy that we were using for our campaigns, he was a top consultant for Google. So freaking Fortune 500 companies would reach out to to Google, and then he would go and consult to those companies. Well, now he's one of our business partners with a company called MagnusDigital.com. This guy is a monster when it comes to PPC, so I got to give him a lot of credit when it comes to building our company. Our company was literally built on pay-per-click as a marketing channel. But anyway, again, you got to be a contrarian. You can't just do what everybody else is doing. It's a vicious cycle. It's going to be a vicious cycle for you. I know that it's cheaper. Yeah, it's cheaper and we got into this yesterday, right? Cold calling. Right, cold calling, you're like, oh, but, the cost per lead on cold calling is $50 a lead. Great, And then the freaking pay-per-click cost per lead is $100, or $120 per lead. But then I ask you, I'm like, okay, so how many cold calling leads does it take you to get a deal? So that's your cost per deal. Right? Oh, well, it takes me about 50. Right? 50 leads to get a deal off cold calling. So what's 50 times 50? Who's the mathematician in here? What is it? No, 50, that's 2,500. 50 times 50? 2,500. 2,500. So your cost per deal on cold calling is 2,500. Guess what? Pay-per-click, these are the hottest leads known to the real estate game. Pay-per-click is the hottest lead. You should be able to convert 1 out of every 10 leads when it comes to pay-per-click. So, let's just say 120, right? $120 cost per lead. And it takes you 10 leads. What is your cost per deal on pay-per-click? What is it? $1,200. So what's more expensive, cold calling or pay-per-click? Cold calling. And we'll get to the questions in a little bit. Do you guys understand that? Everybody's like, oh, but cold calling, they don't see farther than like what's in front of them. It's $50, $50 cost per lead. Oh, ringless voicemail. Yeah, ringless voicemail, 5 cents a drop, 3 cents a drop, whatever. But the number that's more important is the cost per deal. And then that's where you start pumping more of your money into. For some folks that don't have somewhat of a marketing budget, these are just some free marketing channels for you. Craigslist, Zillow Offers. There's a guy that before he goes to bed, or he used to do this, before he went to bed, he would go on the for sale by owner section on Zillow.com, and he would text all of them, I'm interested in buying your house cash, I'm interested in buying your house cash, I'm interested in buying your house cash. And believe it or not, he actually landed some deals. Craigslist, Alex, didn't you get some Craigslist deals? What was your first Craigslist deal that you did? $40,000 assignment fee off Craigslist, free. Driving for dollars, I mean, countless people have actually driving for dollars, skip trays, cold call, right? Who does driving for dollars now? Do you skip trace those leads? And then do you cold call those leads? Okay, good. So again, that's very low, it's cost effective. Referrals, people got to know what you do. People got to know who you are, right? You can't just like keep it to yourself. You got to actually tell the world, hey, I'm buying houses for cash. I have made a lot of money off referrals, believe it or not. Through Instagram, even before my Instagram was what it is now, like I would just always, I would post everything. I know Ron's very active. Some of the guys like Tang and Eric, the Odd Brothers. I hope people know that Donnie flips houses. So you'll get deals just by telling people what you do. Facebook groups. Do you know how many yard sale, like Fort Worth yard sale? Who's ever seen those Facebook groups? Go on there and drop a freaking picture from Fiverr and say, I buy houses. That's another free marketing channel for you if you're not doing that. So, phone systems for investors. Google Voice, a lot of beginners do use Google Voice. CarRail, that's what we use, CarRail, carrail.com. Okay, that's where it's at, that's the money there. Some people use Vumber. Again, we use CarRail, but these are just some options for you when it comes to phone systems. What's my time, Brittany? 25? Okay. List types. What lists should I target? Is that it, Brittany? Or more? More? And that's it? Okay. All right, so high equity absentee list, 50% equity. Guys, we should have updated this, but now you can probably get away with what, 20% equity? 20% equity? Back in the day, I don't know why we put 50%, but 20%, 30% equity, a lot of people ain't targeting those people. You know why? Because, I got it, they got to have 50% equity in the property. No, they don't. Especially in Texas. You guys do a lot of sub-twos here. A lot of sub-twos. Go with 20%. Go with 30%. Choose a city or a few zip codes, property type. We stick to what we're good at. We don't get distracted by shiny objects, with commercial and all that. No, we do single-family residence and multifamily. Last market sale, 12/31/1999. High equity owner occupied list. You can pull that from list source also. Again, you can go 20 to 30%. Same thing. Choose a city or a few zip codes. There's, again, guys, every area geographically is different. Like, some people know certain areas that other people don't know. I'll give you an example. We're in the Dallas-Fort Worth market. We are in the Dallas-Fort Worth market. But it's not like our number one market. What market is this for us? Like, as far as income, gross income? Like third or fourth? Producing? Third? Okay, so it's Vegas, Phoenix, Dallas-Fort Worth? Okay. So anyway, but see, that's the thing. You would think, like, we spend over $100,000 in marketing dollars every single month. You would think that we would take over Dallas-Fort Worth, but guess what? We can't. We're geographically, we just don't know the area better than some of you guys here. And you guys don't know Phoenix better than some of us, and you guys don't know Vegas better than some of us. So that's a huge advantage for you guys, knowing, specific areas where people are either flipping or it's getting hot there, or, some, like, I don't know, the Cowboys are moving their facility, whatever. There's all kinds of stuff going on, right? So let's continue and get out here. Here are some lists for you guys, by the way. If you are doing direct mail, is there more? More? Done? Okay. All right, so no data list. That's you can pull that through list source. Absentee, you can pull that through list source. Tax default, Rebo Gateway, in my opinion, has the best, but a lot of folks actually go. What were you gonna say? Yeah, so Dallas, you can go to what's Eric Torrente's? Flip my real estate list. Look up a guy named Eric Torrente. He'll be able to get it to you. Eric Torrente, ERIK Torrente, TORRENTE. That man can pull a list from anywhere. Yeah. So 20-year ownership, absentee seniors, 55 plus. So no data. What does it mean? It just means there was no sales price when the transaction happened. There's no record of it. There's no sale date. I mean, it's a beautiful list because, a lot of folks actually won't even target that because, there's no data there. I'm not going after that, So tax default, delinquent taxes. You should always include like tax default and pre-foreclosures. Why? Because it's minimal. It's not like you're going to spend a lot of money. Like with every single list that you send, just put the tax default in there in the pre-foreclosure. You're only going to, it's only a couple $100 more than likely. 20 years ownership, our favorite when it comes to farming certain areas, 20 plus ownership. Absentee, again, I did say usually do 30% equity. You can probably even get over 20% these days. And then senior, 55 plus, 20% equity. You guys got that? Good? Are you guys, do you guys like this? Are you sure? Okay. I don't want you guys falling asleep on me. Okay. So, skip tracing. There we go. More? Is there more? Okay, here we go. So, skip tracing, needtoskip.com, that's what we use. Raise your hand if you use needtoskip.com. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, great. So Ron, big Ron. Okay. So guys, look, For those of you who are skip tracing, raise your hand if you are skip tracing. All right, ma'am, who are you skip tracing with? TransUnion, directly from TransUnion? Well, Need to Skip is also TransUnion, but you probably have to go through a few barriers to get there, right? You have a partner? Okay, beautiful. So you're an exception, because TransUnion ain't gonna give me anything. Plus I'm Mexican, so they might think I'm trying to steal Social Security or something. Who do you use? Batch skip tracing? Okay, they're good guys, they're buddies of mine. Ryan? Del Point? They're good. You just have to go through a lot of hoops. You got to have a contract with them. You got to have a minimum spend every single month, right? Just like TLO. Who else skip traces? Everybody? What do you use? Yellow Letter HQ? Yeah. Again, man, I don't know where they're getting their data from, but if someone's selling you data at 3, 6, and 9 cents, be careful. That means it might not be very good data, unfortunately. You know what I mean? No. It's not about like the turnaround time. It's about if you have the right person. You know what I mean? So you gotta ask, hey, so what's your data source? Like I just told you, like TransUnion, you know? It's like this is TransUnion. So that's what you gotta ask. Another thing that you also gotta take into consideration when you're skip tracing, guys, don't get all excited when you skip trace with some unknown company and they give you back a 95% hit rate. Because a hit rate is different than a match rate. That's why I just said, do you have the right person, right? Do I have Donovan Ruffin at 123 Main Street, or do I just have Donovan Ruffin at whatever? Because that's the difference between a hit rate and a match rate. So I'll give you an example. I can't say names. Let's just say somebody like not batch skip tracing. Let's say REI Skip or Skip Genie, whatever, right? Whatever. They give you a 90% hit rate. Well, what if their match rate is only 30 to 40%? 30 to 40% of that list. And then I skip trace with like TLO, Del Point, Need to Skip, and they give me 73% back, and that is their match rate. Who do you think is going to get to those people first? I'm going to get to those people first. They have a bunch of shit data. They had a 95% hit rate, but only a 30 to 40% match rate. They wasted a lot of money. So we have literally built our operation, and when it comes to skip tracing, based off here. So individual skip tracing. So batching versus individual. Guys, if you guys know what batching is, right? It's a handful sum of like 100 plus. That's batching. It's offer there. So we'll keep going. But you can use, like I said, you can use Need to Skip. You can TransUnion like she does. White Pages Premium. I wouldn't really recommend that. TLO is great. You can use Del Point. But with this here, you don't need any contracts. No monthly commitments. You don't have to spend like $5,000 every single month, and they're going to close your account. It's literally plug and play, and pay as you go. Quality matters. So let's just get through this. There's some of the advantages. So for those of you that are cold calling, guys, you get up to 10 phone numbers and recent addresses. Okay, credit bureau data, matching capability, 24-hour turnaround time, wholesale pricing. So let's just keep going. No minimum monthly commitment, no annual contract. Oh, why do you have Alex? This is Alex. All right, this is Alex. By the way, he's one of my business partners, and this is him. I'll just point out, I don't know why the slide's in here. He's not presenting today. He's here, though. And yes, he did do, the guy is 22 now. He's doing pretty well for himself. Bentley, RA, penthouse, taking care of his family, most importantly. Nonprofit organization. You want me to stop? Cold calling. So, guys, I'm not saying stop cold calling. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you have to add to that. Let me go back. There he goes. You have to add to that. So, why cold calling? Best entry-level marketing, low cost per lead, like I said, but cost per deal-wise, you may run into some issues. Easy to do. You can have VAs do it. It's proactive marketing. You're actually going, it's like guerrilla marketing. You're actually reaching out to that person and say, hey, I want to buy your house, instead of just playing the waiting game and see if they get back to you, right? So you're in control. Human interaction, that's always important. You know, talking to people is what this business is all about. You're calling the leads that everyone is mailing to, and some sellers do not update their mailing address. And scalable, it is easy to fire. You can fire somebody that was, you know, charging you $3 an hour and hire some better one, a better VA to do cold calling for you for $5 an hour. I mean, it's easy. So these are just some of the advantages why you should be cold calling. Now, I will say this, just keep an eye on your ROI. Okay, if cold calling isn't working in Dallas-Fort Worth, well, cold calling is working in San Antonio. For those of you who are interested in virtually expanding, you know what I mean? We're in San Antonio, and I can tell you, cold calling works in San Antonio. Dallas-Fort Worth, it's a little tough. I think our ROI was, in Dallas-Fort Worth, 2% cold calling. Our return on investment was 2%. I mean, that is dog shit. So Dallas-Fort Worth is not a good cold calling market. It's not. But it's good with other things. All right, we'll keep going. Property radar, certain states, okay. By the way, who's using Mojo? Raise your hand. Mojo? Mojo, okay, let me, here, right here. Sir, how much money are they charging you per seat? $100-some a month? Okay, so from what I understand, Mojo, to get all these features, because we used to use Mojo. We've used Mojo, we've used Whitetail, we've used Call Tools, and now we have a cold calling center, and we have this all-in dollar through a company called ZenCall. The reason why I say go to allandollar.com is because you'll get all those features that Mojo would hit you for, like $140 plus, for $90 a seat, and that includes everything, like all in. Every single feature possible for $9 a seat. Why are they, first of all, we know the rep there, Jason, because we have a call center, we say, hey, we'll bring you more people, we'll bring you more volumes, give us a good deal. Instead of charging us $140, you know, what can you do? Boom, $90. For anybody out here that goes to allandollar.com, make the switch. Mojo is so outdated, do not use Mojo. Mojo is insane, okay? What should I say on cold calling? I'm going to try to fly through this, by the way, because we got like 11, we have 11:40. Okay, the timer's wrong then. So keep it simple. You know, hello, yes, this is him. You know, what I do is I use the approach. You know, I'll say something like, hey, Dan, how's it going today? Who is this? You know what I mean? Like, you know, hey, Dan, how's it going today? Who is this? Oh, it's me. You told me to give you, you know, it's me, Carlos. You told me to give you a call in 2 weeks. I'm just following up to see if you're still interested in selling that property on 123 Main Street. You know, the approach is everything. You know, the way your first 4 seconds of that call gets you your next 40 seconds. So I don't think we're going to get through all the slides. Oh, yeah, she is really helping me. Thank you, Brittany. Are we almost there? How many slides do we have left?
You've got about like 3 to 5, 10 minutes or so. So if you would do Q&A or just whatever.
Okay, let's get out of there. Okay. Okay. So they're cutting me a little short. It's all good. That means I can go get some drinks at the bar now, right? Yeah. I mean, can you at least give them the options of where to get everything? Can you give them the options of where to get everything? Like the tools, investor tools? Still on there? Okay. Anyway, let's do some Q&As for now. Sir?
Here's a question. Go ahead.
Do we have a mic on the stand? We don't have a mic on the stand, huh? Do you what? Yes, sir. We're at like $14 a lead.
So the question was about Facebook marketing. Sorry.
Yes.
Are you doing that for? Are you doing Facebook marketing for sellers or buyers?
For consumers, for sellers, for nationalcashoffer.com and for dineropormicasa.com, which is our other Hispanic brand.
Okay, and then my second question is, how often are you purchasing data from ListSource?
So what we do is we download the entire county. So we spend a lot of money. Like we just get the entire county in one shot. So we only probably renew that specific list, maybe in a year and a half, because that list only loses its relevance by like 5% over like 12 months. So you don't have to constantly renew it. You know what I mean?
So you're not paying monthly, you're just doing one-time bulk purchases?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And like an entire county.
Okay, thank you.
For sure.
Hey, Carlos.
Yeah, who? Where?
Right.
Ruffin? Who?
No, up here.
That sound like Donnie. Oh, yo, hey.
Hey, man, quick question.
Yes, sir.
How do you were saying earlier when you started that you ended up targeting just Hispanic owners. How did you end up doing that, if you don't mind me asking? Well,
I mean, it's very simple. In Phoenix, I know where they're all at. They're in West Phoenix. It's called it's an area called Maryville. So again, remember earlier I was saying you got to know your geographic area. So you guys got to know where all the Hispanics are here in Dallas Fort Worth. I don't, but you guys do.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere? Well, then you just shotgun market everywhere then.
Hey, Carlos.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Do you think that door knocking, like a street team, would be scalable?
I know some people that actually have successful operations. I'll be honest with you. We've never had that leg to our marketing department, but I know a few people that are still successfully door knocking.
Yeah, I do it here in Dallas, and I door knock maybe like I did like
100 doors a day?
No, I did like 1,000 doors in a month, and I did 2 deals, 30 and then 18. It's like profit.
So when are you going to start dumping money into other marketing channels? Because that's hard. That's hard to scale. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's really hard to scale. So I wouldn't stop that, but I would delegate that with someone that's as good or 80% as good.
Hey, Carlos, big fan here.
Thank you,
I follow
brother.
you and Sal on social media. So I know you all have talked about taking a salary, from your business. So is there a percentage that you all maybe, compromise to as to what was for salary versus what was invested back to the company?
So that's pretty simple, by the way. We have 60 plus deals in the pipeline. And again, I'm going to give you these numbers. My chief financial officer is right here, so she can correct me if I'm wrong. 60 plus deals in the pipeline, $795,000 in revenue projected, right, to close this month. I will only pay myself 10 grand. I pay myself 10 grand. Have you guys ever seen me on social media to say, hey, I pay myself 10 grand every month for my real estate company? So we don't go crazy. Like, we just keep building this thing, you know what I mean? So I would get, in the early stages, Sal and I would only get like whatever we needed to survive and dump the rest back into building the business.
Last question.
Last question.
Do you use Magnus Digital for SEO or?
Absolutely. MagnusDigital.com. That's Dave. For those of you who want PPC campaigns by the same person that we use, Dave, D-A-V-E at MagnusDigital.com. Magnus, M-A-G-N-U-S, digital.com.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome, guys. Let's give it up for Mr. Carlos Reyes. Thank you. Is that good stuff?
Propelio TV is sponsored by Noble Mortgage and Investments, Batch Skip Tracing, Think Multifamily, CreativeCashflow.com, and Lifeiner.
Want to keep up with the latest Propelio TV daily? Be sure to subscribe and click that bell.